Hello, Aaron Wills again, bringing you another reaction video that I started on Saturday, the 12th day of October in 2024 at 6:25 p.m. Along with welcoming you to my channel, allow me to thank you for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe before sharing this video and turning on the post notification bell. As you can see, I'm already on YouTube. I got bad news. We're going back to this trial because I got copyrighted again for doing a Claire Phrase video. So no more writing videos, and so all I'm left, I don't get copyrighted when I do these trial videos. So back to the trial videos, I guess we're going. Here it is. Trial against Darrell Brooks, charged with running his SUV into a Christmas parade in 2021 in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Is it Wisconsin? Yes. Skip ad? Yes, we'll do that. And he killed 6, and he's accused of killing 6 and injuring dozens more. Let's see, why isn't this playing? Here it is, Waukesha. Train attack. Darrell Brooks Jr. That's him right there. What a nice gentleman, huh? How nice clean shaven he is. Actually, he's pretty clean shaven during the trial. This is not playing. Not playing. Let's do something different then, shall we? What's going on?
You need to check out Multi-Pants. They're cargo pants with a straight leg fit. The fabric is also very stretchy.
When I was with Investigator Schultz, when he came to my laboratory, he attempted to start it.
I bet he starts with, is it fair to say? He always in his cross-examinations uses is it fair to say about 1 million times. Is it fair to say? 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 Not only might he not say is it fair to say, but he might not say anything apparently. Let's see, I think he's it looks like he's during cross, but he's not saying anything.
And after you already stated that your initial part of the investigation before the report totaled 40 hours. And at that time, after you had completed your report, did you do any
Is it fair to say?
more investigating in regards to the vehicle?
After my report was complete?
Yeah, after you had done the 40 hours that you stated with, and then the actual report.
No. Once my report's done, I didn't do any further examination of the vehicle.
Is it fair to say?
And after that was completed, had you received any follow-up from law enforcement after you had completed everything?
No.
Had you yourself followed up with law enforcement about the investigation after you completed your initial part?
No.
What a disappointment. He's not going to say, is it fair to say? I was robbed out of my is it fair to say. Is it fair to say? Nope.
You yourself didn't file any claims in this matter, did you?
Now he's going. They're going to object to this. The state that is. Then now he's going after the fact that you have to be an actual living, breathing person to charge him with crimes. You can't. And then the state is an entity. The state of Wisconsin can't charge him with crimes because they're an entity, not a living, breathing person. That's been his argument throughout. That's what he's going for here, I'm sure. Have you talked to the state of Wisconsin? And do you see the state of Wisconsin in the courtroom?
No,
Do you know of anyone who filed any claims in this matter?
I don't.
And
You know who the plaintiff in this matter is?
do you recall who you were subpoenaed by to testify?
I was subpoenaed by District Attorney Sue Hopper.
Do you recall when that was?
I believe it was sometime, I don't exactly recall when.
And did you follow up on that subpoena?
No,
Obviously.
You had received it?
no.
He didn't go in the direction I thought he was going. You know who the plaintiff in this case is?
Have you at any time seen or read any complaints in regards to this incident?
No.
Do you know who the plaintiff is in this matter?
There he goes. The state of Wisconsin, he'll
The
say.
state of Wisconsin?
Now he'll say, do you see the state of Wisconsin in the courtroom today? Have you ever talked to the state of Wisconsin? You know the state of Wisconsin?
Would you label that as a person, an actual human? Grounds.
Sustained. Not really.
You ever actually seen the plaintiff in this matter? Grounds.
Sustained.
If you saw the plaintiff, would you be able to identify the plaintiff?
Objection
Grounds.
irrelevant. Sustained. Pursuant to United States law, please move on to a different line of questioning.
He does this in just about every cross. He tries to prove that the state of Wisconsin is an entity, not a live, living, breathing person, so that they can't bring charges against him. He calls it claims. But I think he's talking about they can't bring charges against him because they're not a living, breathing person. You know, you can be an entity to bring charges. The state of Wisconsin brought charges against you for running your car into the parade and killing 6 people, including one young boy named Jackson Sparks at the age of 8, and injuring dozens more. So you were charged with 76 counts of various crimes for doing so. The state of Wisconsin charged you with those. An entity, yes.
Just trying to establish who the plaintiff is, Your Honor. Do you see the plaintiff present in court today?
Objection
Grounds.
irrelevant. Sustained.
Would you consider yourself to be an injured party in this matter?
No.
No further questions.
Thank you. Any redirect?
Just very briefly. Mr. Johnson, you said when you arrived on Maple Street, there were police officers present,
That's correct.
and you said the vehicle was secure at that point.
Correct.
Objection.
What do you mean?
Leading.
The answer may stand. Next question. Overruled.
What do you mean by that?
There goes his good old fashioned, not good old fashioned, but good old faithful objection leading. If it's not objection leading, it's objection hearsay. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Although he has occasionally gotten sustained for objection leading. He's gotten his leading objection sustained a couple times, I know for sure. Now, I've not seen this part of the trial, I don't believe. So I don't know exactly what's going to go on here. But I'm sure we'll hear some more objections from Daryl Brooks. And hopefully we get to see some. No, we won't see any more cross. Maybe after the next witness. And maybe after the state calls its next witness, we'll see another cross from Daryl Brooks. That's the best part of watching this trial, watching him step on it every 5 seconds.
That, sir.
The perimeter was secured with crime scene tape, and there were officers that were standing at the location where the vehicle was.
Would it have been possible for a member of the public or any curious person to just walk up and touch the vehicle or do anything to the vehicle?
Objection. Speculative.
Based on his training and experience, he may answer. Overruled.
They would have been stopped by law enforcement.
Thank you, that's all I have.
All right, thank you, sir. You may step down. While he's stepping down, would your, and anyone else in the courtroom want to stand as we want to get through one more witness tonight?
And then, the exhibits that Mr. Johnson has, Your Honor, what would you like to have with those?
And 87.
Yes?
What was 87?
87 is a half.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put that back.
Objection to that. Before you show.
He'll say irrelevant. That's what he says for every objection to a piece of evidence.
Yeah, I didn't even see what that was. If you would have never told, I know, but if you never would have told me, I never would have even known what that was because I didn't see it till you just moved it.
The witness had it up on the stand, so here it is. It's exhibit marked as exhibit 87. And said, state has used it into evidence. I believe there's an objection.
Yes, there is an objection.
Overruled based on the testimony of the prior witness. It is received. And who do we have coming up to stand?
Your Honor, the state next calls Trevor Malin. And for the record, he was handed a copy of Exhibit 91 on his way to the witness stand.
I'm just starting out all over the place, predicting what's going to be said. I'm just going about, I've watched so much of this trial, I'm just going about what I've seen and all the, maybe hours even of the trial I've watched. So I haven't seen this part, so I'm just predicting based on what I've seen already. And his wild objections and his stupid cross-examinations.
All right. Thank you. Sir, could you please stand and raise your right hand? My clerk, please swear you in. Do you solemnly swear to the testimony you're about to give the truth, the whole truth, Thank you. Be seated. And just for the record, what is 91? I know you're going to get to it, but
91 is Mr. Malin's.
all right. Thank you. Then, all right. Good. This evening, sir, the first thing I will have you do is to state your first and last names for the record, and then spell each, please.
My name is Trevor Mallett, Trevornailei.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, and I'm sorry for mispronouncing your name. Sir, where do you work?
I am employed by the Wisconsin Department of Justice at the State Crime Laboratory.
And what is your position there?
I'm a senior forensic scientist in the DNA analysis unit.
How long have you worked there?
11 and a half years.
Could you please describe the work you do there?
Sure. I examine evidence for the presence of biological fluids such as blood, semen, and saliva, and then attempt to extract the DNA from those items. From there, I make comparisons to standards from non-individuals in the case.
And what's your educational background, please?
I have a bachelor's degree from the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse in biochemistry and a master's degree from the University of Florida in forensic DNA and serology.
Do you have any training specific for your position at the Wisconsin State Crime Lab?
I do, yes.
Please describe that for the jury.
I underwent approximately a 1-year-long internal training program that included the screening techniques we use, presumptive and confirmatory tests for blood, semen, and saliva. From there, I learned the extraction techniques, quantitation, amplification, and typing methods that our lab uses. From there, I learned data interpretation as well as statistical analysis.
Did you do any casework while you were in training?
Mock cases.
Okay.
I completed two competency tests, 2 mock cases, a mock court, and then after completing those, I completed an extensive written exam as well as statistical tests.
Did you actually work with DNA samples, processing and analyze DNA samples during your training?
I did, yes.
About how many times?
Let's see what objection he's going to come up with for this witness.
About 175 samples.
His go-to objection is usually leading. He might throw in a hearsay every now and then, but I anticipate a nice leading here coming up soon.
Is the Wisconsin State Crime Lab accredited?
Yes, it is.
What does that mean?
Our lab's accredited under the ISO 17025 2017. Essentially, it's just a voluntary.
The sad thing is there's exactly no chance that Daryl Brooks is going to cross this witness. We don't get to see a big cross-examination like usual. We might not even get to see one of his ludicrous objections. But there's no question he's not going to cross this witness. Now, I haven't seen this, so he might cross him, but I doubt it.
Program that any lab can enter to show that it meets established standards. They control our proficiency testing that's done twice a year.
Do you personally have any certification or accreditation personally?
No, just the foundation.
Just the lab, okay. How many forensic DNA cases have you worked?
Just over 500.
Huh? What?
And about how many
What's
DNA
that?
samples have you
I
processed?
see that.
Over 2.
Overruled for witness may answer. I'm sorry, what did you repeat your answer?
Over 2,000.
Have you previously testified in court before?
Objection, relevancy.
Overruled for witness may answer.
There's an objection. Relevancy. It's very relevant. What an idiot. This guy is an idiot. It's very relevant. Overruled in a heartbeat.
As a reminder, for making objections, please wait until I rule on those objections until you answer. Go ahead and answer.
Thank you. I'd like to ask you a little bit further about DNA analysis and how that works, okay? What is DNA? We hear a lot about it. What is it?
DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. It's essentially the genetic blueprint that makes us what we are. It codes for us to have 2 legs, 2 arms, hair color, eye color, etc.
And where is DNA found in the human body?
Objection.
Overruled, foundational, the witness may answer.
DNA is found in the nucleus of a cell.
Is it the same in every cell throughout the body?
And every cell that has a nucleus, yes, such as white blood cells and skin cells.
And is that important in your analysis?
Objection, leading.
Overruled, foundational, you may answer.
Yes, yes.
Why?
Objection, leading.
Overruled, go ahead.
It's important because we can take samples, evidentiary samples.
There's all his leading objections. I knew there'd be some coming. This is go-to objection, leading. He rarely gets a sustained an objection using leading, but sometimes it does. I've seen it happen a couple times, right back to back at one point, 2 times in a row. I don't know if he's gonna get one in this time, but he's gonna try. Watch.
Samples that may be from blood or saliva and compare them with known standards, which are typically buccal swabs, which are swabs from the inside of the cheek, or dried blood standards.
Does each individual have unique DNA?
Everybody except identical twins is unique.
Okay. Are you familiar with something known as STR analysis?
Objection leading.
Overruled foundational, the witness may answer.
Yes, ma'am.
What is STR analysis, please?
STR stands for short tandem repeat analysis. Over 99% of DNA is the same from person to person. So we're looking at that 1% that varies from individual to individual. Short tandem repeats are very small sequences of DNA that repeat over and over. So at one location, I may have 12 of these repeats, where another individual may have 14.
Is that distinction important?
Yes.
Why?
We can type standards from anybody associated with the case and make comparisons from the evidentiary profile to these standards to.
Wonder how gay this guy is exactly on a scale of 1 to 10. He seems gay to me. I mean, I'm not dogging him. I'm just saying he seems like he's gay. And my gaydar is pretty good usually. I grew up in live theater. I have pretty good gaydar. I think this guy's gay. It doesn't matter, but he is gay.
Either include or exclude individuals.
All right. I'd like to direct your attention to Exhibit 91. Do you have that item in front of you, sir?
I see.
What is 91, please?
91 is my confidential report of laboratory findings dated April 29th, 2020.
I guess he probably will cross his. I thought this was all going to be about his education, in which case there's no way he would have crossed him. But now they're going to talk about some findings from the case. I'm sure Daryl Brooks will cross him. So this should be fun. Let's watch what happens. He'll give some statistics, and Daryl Brooks will say, well, hey, what about this or that? And I don't know.
And do you know if it relates to events occurring in the city of Waukesha on November 21 or 21?
Objection leading.
Overruled foundational, the witness may answer.
Yes.
Okay. Were you given some items to process for DNA analysis?
I was, yes.
Were you given DNA standards to compare any
Now that's leading.
profiles that you may develop?
That might be leading. He might say it. He might get a sustained in here.
From the evidence to known individuals in the case?
Yes, I was.
Do you remember
He didn't
who
say
you
it.
got standards from?
I do.
Are you able to name them, or if you need to refer to your report, you may, but just let us know.
He didn't even try to say leading. What the hell is he doing? He's slacking.
Okay. Can I read off the report?
You may read off the report. What page are you reading from, sir?
I will be reading page 2.
Okay? Go ahead.
Objection.
Overruled, the witness may do so.
I received buccal swabs, cheek swabs from Eric Patterson as well as Darrell Brooks. I received dried blood standards from Wilhelm Hospital, Tamara Duran, Jane Kulick, Leanna Owen, Virginia Sorensen, and Jackson Sparks.
Is there a difference between those two, the method in which they were submitted, the buccal swab versus the dried blood standard?
Objection leading.
Overruled foundational, the witness may answer.
Yes.
Are you able to do the same thing with
He's such a moron. Everything is leading. He has no clue what leading is.
that?
Yes.
And what is that?
Just extracting the DNA off them to essentially put a profile to the individual.
Okay. And how do you use those profiles that you develop from the known standards?
We compare them to the evidentiary profiles that we develop.
Now you processed many items related to this case. Is that correct, sir?
Objection leading.
Overrule the foundation of the witness may answer.
Yes, I did.
I'm going to direct your attention to just a few select items for my purposes, okay? On page 7 of your report, Exhibit 91, you have reported analysis you were able to perform on some swabs from the steering wheel of the vehicle in question. Is that correct, sir?
That's correct.
And the swabs were obtained by another member of the crime lab, is that right?
Objection speculative.
Overrule the witness may answer.
Where'd you get that from? He goes from leading to speculative. He can't spell speculative.
That's correct.
How did they get to you?
They were collected by analyst Chief now, Chris Johnson in Milwaukee, and they were mailed over to Madison.
Were you able to
Plus, I think the objection would be objection calls for speculation, not speculative. And the objection would be it calls for speculation, which that didn't call for speculation. He's an expert on it.
develop any DNA profiles from the swabs of the steering wheel in this case?
Yes, I was.
What were your findings?
It was a two-person mixture with at least one male.
Can you explain to the jury what that means, please?
We can look at a profile, and based on how many peaks there are at different locations, each person will have a maximum of 2. So if you have 3 peaks at a location, you know that you have more than one person there. And so in this case, we were able to say that it was a 2-person mixture.
Were you able to identify who those 2 people would be?
Objection speculative.
Overruled, the witness may answer based upon training, experience, and investigation and analysis in this case.
Yes.
How did you do that, sir?
I ran it through this program called StarMix.
Is that a computer program?
Yes, it is.
What is that, please?
Objection leading.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
StarMix is a
Went back to his good old leading. He left calls for speculation to leading. Let's see how it works for him.
mixture deconvolution software that we used previously. It was pretty difficult to distinguish different contributors and mixtures, and now we have the software that's actually a 2-part program to do that.
How did it work?
Excuse me.
Objection leading.
Overruled, you may answer, sir.
The first part takes inputs.
His old leading's not working out very well for him. But he's gonna stick with it, I promise you.
By the inputs,
Sorry.
such as number of contributors, so we'll look at the profile and determine that. But it also looks at the total amount of DNA amplified and essentially makes its own profile for comparison purposes. It will then compare it to the actual profile and determine if it's a good enough match. It will then generate another completely random profile, and if it's better and a better match, it will accept it. If it's not, it will deny it, and it will keep doing the accept over and over hundreds of thousands of times until it has a profile that is a very, very good match to the theoretical.
It's safe to say a human being would be very challenged to do the same analysis.
It would take a very long time.
And the software that you use, the StarMix or STRMix, is that used in other labs around the country, sir?
Objection speculative. Always used around the country.
Over.
I was going back to calls for speculative. Because how is he supposed to know what's used around the country? Well, because he knows. Shut up.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
Yes, it is.
Is it a reliable method of performing DNA analysis, in your opinion, sir?
Yes, it is.
Has it been accepted in courts in other cases?
Objection speculative.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
Yes, it is.
More than once?
Objection leading.
Overruled, you may answer.
Yes.
Do you know about how many times StarMix has been used in Wisconsin courts?
Objection speculative.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
Since we brought it online in January of 2020, it's been accepted over 100 times in the state of Wisconsin.
Did you have to receive some specific training in how to utilize this software?
Yes, I did.
Did you complete the courses?
Yes.
Did you use StarMix to analyze the DNA profile, this two-person mixture from the steering wheel of the Ford Escape?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. Foundational. The witness may answer.
Yes, I did.
What conclusion did you draw?
Based on it being a two-person mixture, Erica Patterson and Darrell Brooks are both very strong support for inclusion. They're both it's at least 1 quadrillion times more likely to observe the DNA profile if it's a mixture resulting from them
1 quadrillion.
over 200 pounds.
So the odds of it being Mr. Brooks' DNA versus some other random person in the world are very, very rare, right?
Objection, leading. Consent to being called that name.
The objection is noted. I'll sustain the objection as to the form of the question. Does that be rephrased?
Can you explain for us what you mean by very strong support for inclusion?
Yeah, we have a verbal qualifier based off of the validation that the company, the StarMix creators, as well as an internal validation have come up with. And the highest number we'll report is greater than 1 quadrillion. So this is higher than the number that we're reporting greater than 1 quadrillion, but the number is actually higher.
Okay. I'd like to move on then to the gear shift. Did you receive swabs from the gear shift of the red SUV?
Yes, I did.
Were you able to develop a DNA profile from the swab from the gear shift?
Yes, I was.
What did you find?
That was a 3-person mixture, also with at least one
I'm sorry, you trailed off at the end. A 3-person mixture, what?
with at least 1 male contributor.
Okay. Were you able to do any further analysis on that DNA profile?
I ran that through StarMix as well.
And what conclusion did you reach?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
The same.
He's sticking to his good old faithful leading. He's not doing very well with it, but he's sticking to it.
As the steering wheel. So Erica Patterson and Darrell Brooks are both very strong support for inclusion.
Meaning that their DNA is on that gear shift.
Objection, leading.
Sustains to the form of the question.
Oh,
Please rephrase.
he got a sustained in there. Very good, buddy. You throw it out there enough times, you're going to shit out once or twice. You got a sustained.
Please again state in layman's terms for the jury what that means. So,
Both Erica Patterson and Darrell Brooks, there's at least 1 quadrillion times more likely that the mixture, excuse me, it's at least 1 quadrillion times more likely to observe the DNA profile if it's a mixture from each one, meaning the person of interest and the 2 unknowns versus 3 unknowns.
the person of interest being Darrell Brooks.
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name. He's just leading the witness.
Overruled.
The-
Noted, but overruled. You may answer.
We run StarMix for the profile itself, and then each individual standard is run. So each person will have its own individual stat. So in this case, both Erica and Darrell are greater than 1 times 10 to the 15th, which is our 1 quadrillion.
All right, thank you. Sir, up on the table to your left, there's an item in a bag that's been marked as exhibit number 87. You see that? Yes, could you pull that down and take a look at that for me, please? Do you recognize exhibit number 87?
I do, yes.
And is that an item that you worked on?
Yes, it is.
Were you able to develop a DNA profile from exhibit 87?
Yes, I was.
What did you find?
That was a 2-person mixture with at least 1 male contributor.
And were you able to analyze that further using StarMix?
I was.
What conclusions did you reach?
Erica Patterson has very strong support for excluding. Darrell Brooks has strong support for excluding. Wilhelm Haskell has very strong support for inclusion. He is above that 1 quadrillion threshold that we have.
Okay. And last, I'm not sure, Madam Clerk, if you still have the exhibit handy. If not, we can just talk about it. I'm looking for the sweatshirt that was item number 84. Exhibit 84? It is? Okay. Judge, would you please hand that to the witness?
Yes, the record is Dr. Handing, exhibit number 84 to the witness. Go ahead.
Thank you.
What was the other exhibit number? That?
The hat is 87 and the sweatshirt is 84.
Sir, do you recognize item number 84, or exhibit number 84, I should say?
I do.
Is that an item that you processed?
Yes, it is.
Were you able to develop a DNA profile from exhibit 84?
Yes, I was.
What did you find?
I first looked at this. Typically, we'll swab if we're trying to find the wear of an item, areas that skin contacts. So on shirts, a lot of times we'll swab the back of the area or the cufflinks. So I swabbed both of those. There was a reddish brown stain on the right sleeve that tested presumptive positive for blood. So I took that, a cutting of that. And then there were 5 hairs, there were more than 5 hairs, but I took 5 hairs that looked like they had roots on them for extraction.
Okay. And were you able to develop any DNA profiles from any of those swabbings or hairs?
Yes, I was.
Which? Let's start with swabs.
Okay. The swabbing of the collar of the sweatshirt was a 3-person mixture with at least 1 male.
How about the cuffs of the sweatshirt?
The cuffs were also a 3-person mixture.
And how about the stain on the right cuff?
That was a 2-person mixture with at least 1 male.
Okay. Going back to the collar, the swab of the collar, did you use StarMix software to rule in or out the possibility of Mr. Brooks being included in that profile?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name. Speaking the witness.
Noted, overruled, the witness may answer.
Yes, I did.
What was your finding?
Mr. Brooks has very strong support for inclusion. He's above that 1 quadrillion threshold.
Okay. How about the cuffs on the sweatshirt? What was your finding and ultimate conclusion as to Mr. Brooks' likelihood of DNA in that case?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name. Leading the witness.
Noted, overruled, the witness may answer.
That 3-person mixture with at least 1 male, the same thing. Darrell Brooks was very strong support for inclusion, greater than 1 quadrillion times.
And the last item you said was a stain on the right cuff of the sweatshirt?
Correct.
Did you reach any ultimate conclusion as it relates to that item?
That was a 2-person mixture with at least 1 male.
And what was your conclusion?
Both Erica Patterson and Darrell Brooks are very strong support for inclusion.
You said that substance was presumptive positive for blood?
Objection. Leading.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
That's correct.
All right, thank you, sir. I don't have any other questions at this time, but I would move Exhibit 91 into evidence as report, Your Honor.
Thank you. Exhibit 91 is received. We remove two exhibits.
Can I see that last exhibit? I'm thinking of the 87 with the sweatshirt. Yeah. Is that 87? 84.
This hat I'm holding up is 87. And then he has 91, which is his report. I'll keep that in front of you for now. He can do that for me now. Go ahead when you're ready.
These DNA analysis with StarMix. I'm a little curious to get clarification on what does it mean when you say mixture? What exactly does that mean?
You don't know what a mixture is? All right. I'd love to finish this cross, but I gotta go get my pills, my meds for the night. So I'm gonna hang it up right now. Peace.